So does everyone see my screen okay?
Yep.
Good, good. So if you guys have any questions, again, just use the chat. Feel free to write anything in there as we go along. I have it up, so I'll be able to monitor it and see if you have any questions or anything you want me to stop and maybe expand on. But as Gary said, today is all about the ads on Facebook. Last time, about a month ago, we went over how to create a Facebook business page. If you're not at that point, then this might not be the best presentation for you, but you're not far off either because it's really easy to create one of those. If that's you, just message me after this, email me, and we'll talk a little bit more about it and how to create that so we can take this next step. But this will still be useful for you. So today's objectives are really going to be, why are we running Facebook ads? Understanding what the objectives are that Facebook ads have, which we'll go over and define those a little bit better. The new rules of targeting, in case you guys don't know, things kind of changed a couple years ago, 2018, I believe. And we'll talk about how that kind of impacted this. And we'll also talk about what kind of ad we're going to choose for our audience type, lead response and conversion, and some of the examples that I've seen that work really well. That way you guys can borrow them and use them as your own. And then after all that's said and done, we'll follow up and wrap everything up and kind of go from there. So before we get started here, it's really kind of nice to review why we should do this and why we should consider running Facebook ads. They're kind of an essential online marketing strategy that everyone uses today, and they're designed to attract buyers, sell more properties, generate more seller leads. There's nearly 2 billion people daily on Facebook that actively use it, 2 billion. So the chances are that some of your target audience is going to be checking Facebook throughout the day for multiple reasons, but they can see your advertisement. We'll talk about how to target specific people and how to, throw a wide net and what advertising you should choose based on your point in time in your career. So this is really an immense audience that you can reach here, and it also provides a hyper local audience. So you can pick the location that you want to advertise in. So you don't have to advertise to somebody. Television has a pretty wider, much larger audience unless you're using local TV, which doesn't have a very big audience at all. This gets you the audience that you want where you want them. So again, as I mentioned, over 2 billion active users monthly on Facebook. It's the #1 social media platform. Has the most daily active users and the most time spent on the platform by those users. So again, it's highly likely that your target audience, and if you're not targeting them yet, millennials, are on Facebook so that you can start building your brand around them. So why are we running these? So there's 4 different this is a partial list, but there's ways that you can benefit from Facebook ads. So #1, create awareness. It helps you create that personal brand if you're just starting out or never really had the identity or had the identity and just haven't shared who you are on social media yet. All 3 of those categories can fit in here. Don't be a secret agent, we always say. It'll increase your database. So lead ads, which is a certain type of ad objective that we'll talk about, allow your users or the person you're running your advertising to click a button and it fills in their information automatically. So they can change that information. We'll talk a little bit more about that too, but this will increase the number of information databases or prospects in your information database or your CRM that you can start to market to. It'll help you generate leads. So Facebook Pixel, if you guys aren't familiar with that, is a free service that basically will allow you to have these analytics to show you who's viewed your content, how often they view your content, and you can use that for retargeting. And retargeting, if you haven't heard of it, is a very cool, you've seen it because it's anytime you go and look for those, pair of shoes online and you put them in your, your to-go bag, your shopping cart, and then when you go to check out, yeah, you decide against it. And then 3 minutes later, you're on Facebook, and what's right there? Your shoes. Retargeting can help with that. So, and you can do that for people who have visited your website. And again, we'll go over this and how to do that. It's not very hard. Repeat and referral business. So you can upload the past client database that you have, and that way you can kind of capture them and stay on top of mind. Because how many times have we all been to, cookout or a friend's house, something where they were like, oh, I just bought a house. You're like, no, you have to use me. Why didn't you use me? Why didn't you reach out to me? I always post stuff on Facebook. I've been doing this for 30 years. Well, this is the way that you can kind of keep those people or keep you on the top of their mind throughout their process of home buying and home ownership. So what you need to get started, as I mentioned, a Facebook business page, a small budget for testing. This is really a cheap way to get new clients. And you want to spend a little bit at first, and we'll talk about how much and when, and it just the less you spend until you get kind of the target audience nailed down, where you're really getting a lot of interactions and a lot of lead gen from the actual Facebook ad. That's when you want to start spending more money, but it's not expensive to get started in this. And you want to have a lead follow-up process. And patience. As I mentioned, it takes a little while to kind of pinpoint or get that bullseye really dead center on where your target audience is or where your target custom audience is. And we'll talk about how to create those. So before you get started running the Facebook ads, you need to understand how people consume the content on Facebook. So Facebook ads are often called passive or interest-based ads. So this really means you can't rely solely on sales. So it's not buy now. Somebody doesn't wake up and say, I think I'll buy a house on Facebook today, right? But they may want to see more about you and not know it yet. So this is where we're going to start and understanding the Facebook ad objectives, because we need to understand how we get to be at top of mind before we ask them to purchase with us. So understanding the Facebook ad objectives. So number one, why are you running an ad, right? What is your intention and who are you trying to reach with the advertisement? So your ad strategy will be driven by your answers to those three questions, which is why are you running an ad? What is your intention and who are you trying to reach? Now, Facebook has three different objectives for you to choose from that help you define the ad strategy that you're going to want to take. That's awareness, consideration, and conversion. And we're going to take a closer look at each one here. Awareness helps you show up in front of your target audience more frequently, and that's to build a recognizable brand and to become known, right? It's just saying, hey, I'm here. Here's my story. A lot of brand awareness this is about building your hyper local awareness, your little network within your community through the content that you have. Then we have consideration. Now, consideration gives agents exposure to people who are considering a purchase or sale sometime in the near future. So people in the consideration stage have a plan to buy or sell a house and are kind of considering their options, and they're looking at listings. They're learning about neighborhoods. They're visiting Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia. They're actively seeking information about houses on to buy or sell. So at this stage, when you do an advertising objective, you want to pick one that is, or when you do an advertisement within this objective, you want to pick one that is showing a listing. We're talking about different neighborhoods or multiple listings within that neighborhood. This is someone in the consideration phase, and it's something that they would click on. So conversion is the third ad objective that we talked about, and this entices people to take action, and this is by clicking a link, filling out a form, making a call, watching a video. Active buyers and sellers in the conversion stage typically have a short-term goal of making a decision. So they know something's on the horizon, they've planned this out, and ads deployed for these users at this stage of the buying cycle should include a very clear call to action. So call now, sign up now, take a look, those call to actions. And it's got to be tied to a listing, a consultation, something where they get the ball moving. They're ready to go. They're asking for help. So those are the 3 different Facebook ad objectives. And then we'll talk about how to create a Facebook ad now. So there's 2 things that you want to be aware of. We're going to use Facebook Ads Manager, but there's a thing called Facebook Business Manager. And really, the difference is the Facebook Business Manager is a business manager. Businesses really is what it should be called. So for multiple businesses, somebody who runs the social media account for multiple ones, or if you plan to have a reoccurring or retargeting with your current database, your past clients, if you have been doing this for a long time and want to reconnect with people who have bought or sold from you, and you have their emails, you have them all in the CRM, the business manager would be for you because it allows you to advertise that past list of clients. And more about that later. But for now, there's also a mobile Facebook Ads Manager. So if you're just getting started with ads, which some of you probably are, you may want to start on a laptop, computer, desktop, because it's easier viewing. The app is really good for looking at ad metrics on the go. So again, something you will be wanting to use, but not for your sole purpose of creating the ads, just to track the ads maybe. So how can we create an ad? Well, we're on the home screen here of my Facebook page, my business Facebook page. And as you can see, it's almost like they want you to buy advertising, because there's 3 different spots that show up right there where you can buy ads. You can, do the plus arrow here and come down to the ads, and then you can do the create an ad, and you can do the ad center. So there's a ton of different spots where you're able to create an ad, and they want you to be successful when doing these advertisements. That's why Pixel is there and gives you the analytics so that you can read those things, and they want you to come back and spend more money with your advertisements. So they give you the tools and the means and the analytics to really judge and tweak your advertisements to get the most interactions, engagements, and conversions out of it. So I always start with the ad option on the right here. This one, the plus sign, and we're going to start with that. So plus, and then this will log you in. Once you hit the ad, it's going to log you into your Facebook Ads Manager, giving you the full suite of Facebook's advertising capability. So when you set up your ad campaign, Facebook has a checkbox asking if your ad is in a special category related to credit, employment, or housing. Are you in a special category? Yes, right? So you want to select housing every time as your ad category. Now, this isn't if you're advertising for something else, for another business. For example, before I teamed up with Taylor Properties, I started doing these presentations, and I would run advertisements to different realtors within the area. So that is not, even though I'm a loan officer and I would be in that credit category or housing category, I was advertising to real estate agents. So it was not a credit or housing transaction. Therefore, I did not have to select that category. So there's definitely different scenarios in which you may not do, but for the purposes of our presentation, we're looking to get more clients, right? So this is a housing category. So you would select that, and this will automatically disable the targeting options that are no longer available to us. So we'll talk about that in a second. The first thing you'll see when you log into the Ad Manager account is to create a new campaign right there at the top left. So this lets you choose the appropriate marketing objectives for your campaign. So as we just reviewed, there's those 3 categories, right? We have the awareness, the consideration, and the conversion. So under each objectives are the interactions or actions you want to achieve with those ads. And as you see under awareness, we have brand awareness, consideration is traffic, engagement, video views, lead. We're going to go over or briefly touch on right now the most common types of ad objectives for real estate ad campaigns. That way you know which ones are going to be best for you to choose. So the first one is brand awareness. Obviously, this is going to help people find out about your brand, your business, your service. So it shows your ad to audiences repeatedly, and this is to achieve recognition or brand recall. So basically, it's going to cast this net to the only goal basically for the type of realtor Facebook ad is to get a message out to the targeted audience over and over and over again. When you think of Arby's, you think we have, you can finish the sentence, and that's the brand awareness. You want to get your face, your catchphrase, your slogan, your motto out there for people to start to build that top of mind awareness. Who are you? Oh, I know who that is. I've seen her on Facebook. I've seen him on Facebook. So the more you target, the more your target market knows about you and remembers you, the more brand awareness that you have. And this is where you want to kind of start. Reach targets everybody. So this is the widest net that you're going to see. So within your selected audience, regardless of whether they have a history of engaging with content on Facebook, the reach objective is intended to get the maximum amount of impressions for the lowest price. So maybe a good place to start to see where you stand. Now, the goal of reach is to show your ad to as many people as possible within that target audience. Again, the widest net. Traffic is used purely to drive visitors to the link in your ad. So if you have a new listing and you want to promote that listing, this is in the consideration category. Remember, we were talking about promoting a listing within that consideration category. If you want to promote a listing, you can track the amount of people who visit your listing site if you have a separate site for that, which is something that I do as well. If you guys have questions or have a listing, we can talk about creating a site directly for that listing if you don't already, so that way that you can track the amount of people that come there and what data that we can get from that using Pixel. So traffic is really kind of also towards the awareness part of it, because it's going to show them who you are, and your website is going to tell them a lot about who you are when they click that link. It's a great campaign for content creators, people who like to do videos, like to do social media. If you have a really good Instagram, or realtors that have really good Instagrams where it's constantly just updated with new videos, new listings, they look good, they look professional, that's the type of content that people want to see. If you're not that person, this may not be the best category for you. If you don't have that category, that website up and running, you don't have the content that's very strong yet, then maybe skip over this category. But this is a great way to introduce you to new people and introduce new people to your brand. So engagement is without a doubt one of those valuable campaign objectives. So it will show your ad to people who are more likely to engage with your post, right? So by selecting the engagement, Facebook will basically show your ad to those most likely to share, comment, like. It's going to interact with the ad at the lowest possible cost. So if anyone here has ever boosted a post, it's the same thing. So it automatically chooses this objectives if you boost a post. So boosting posts is simply paying to get likes or comments. That's what you're doing when you boost a post. Engagement is the same thing. It's just putting it out to people who are likely to engage, which gets you into more circles. Video views, it's kind of self-explanatory, right? But it's great for targeting cold audiences. This is basically due to the fact they don't know who you are. And you need to warm them up. So if you have a video about yourself, about your community, about what you do, something special you did, a client you helped, maybe it was a veteran, these are different things that can create the brand awareness very easily, because you're on video, people can see you, you move rather than a picture that's still, right? So this warms people up to you. Use this in your Facebook advertising campaigns. If you're not good already at presenting videos online, it's kind of time to move to that stage, because if you don't want to do it, everyone else is doing it, and it does help with the online lead capture because you become a human being. There's also Another thing about video views that I wanted to go over, retargeting. So retargeting is used to show additional ads to people who watch a certain percentage of your video. So if they watch 25, 50, 75, 100% of your video, or more than a specific amount of time, X amount of seconds, building a retargeting audience is also known as a custom audience. So this retargeting with the video views helps, or the video views helps you build that retargeting audience, I should say. And we'll talk about this in a few moments. So just keep up with me here. We're almost done with the different categories. Lead generation is, instead of sending prospects to a lead capture form or an external web page, everything is hosted within Facebook's platform. So this is called a Facebook lead ad. So I'll show you an example of this in just a moment, but with the lead generation objective, you're enticing users by offering them something useful in exchange for their contact information. So it would automatically populate the email, the phone number, their name, as I mentioned before, and they're going to submit their information in exchange for something that you're giving them. So as an example, you could see here, just listed. If you want to figure out, see all the photos now, right? Pen's not working. Here we go. See all the photos now, learn more. And then when you click and you get in here, it automatically populates this information here. So they only have to hit submit because Facebook already has that information, right? You put your email in, your phone number, your name, and then all they have to do is hit submit. The problem, the disadvantage of a Facebook lead ad is quantity over quality. So people can edit this information right here and put, a different email or a different name or a different phone number here. So it's quick, it's simple, but it's going to be lower quality of ads. This is definitely where you want to have a CRM and a lead follow-up plan in place. So that way you can start plugging them in the CRM, start a drip campaign, make your phone calls, make your text messages, finally get them on the phone, and you find out it was somebody's kid that did it by accident, right? So that's going to be what you're going to encounter here. This is a very good form of advertising for somebody who does not have a database, somebody who's looking to get started in the industry, looking to make a name. You can do these, you can get information, you can get people interested in your listings without having to make all the connections in the industry that everyone had to do in the past. Messages. This is the fastest growing ad form. The open rates for this is around 90%. They drive users to Facebook Messenger where they can send your business a direct message. It allows you to initiate conversations with potential clients. It's just a very easy way for them to reach out to you and say, I have a question. I saw your ad. When is this going to be, when are we going to have an open house for this listing you posted? Are you available to talk later? It's just very easy for those messengers. If you don't have it set up already, there's automatic replies that you can have, or even when they visit your page, it'll pop up and show, hey, is there something I can help you with? So we could talk about that. If you don't have that set up, you can reach out to Gary or I. It's a very simple option within the Facebook business page settings that'll help you to engage with more clients. For the conversion category, the only one that we want to really focus on here is the conversions category, subcategory. And this is effectively telling Facebook to show your people, show your ad to people who are likely to convert. Okay, so to concede with this, you should first build a brand awareness, right? So if you want to be successful with having a conversion with somebody you don't know on Facebook, they have to know who you are, brand awareness. The consideration stage should have been had somewhere, within the video views. So you're building more brand awareness or engagement so that they're seeing more of your comments, more of your posts and commenting on it. Then you go to the conversion. So you want to start from the beginning. You can't just go to conversion and be very successful and spend a little bit of money. You probably have to spend a lot of money to be successful doing that. So I think that's all the categories that we're going to go over. So it looks something like this. You want to build the awareness, the consideration, the conversion, and those are the three ad objectives and the net that they really cast when you're looking at Facebook and how their algorithm sends out your ad. So before launching a campaign here, it's crucial to have a goal in mind. So ask yourself again, what would you like to achieve by running these ads? Are you looking to get leads? Are you looking to get video views, traffic to a blog, messages? They're all great places to get started for real estate agents. And we want to talk about some of the new rules of targeting. This is a huge deal for Facebook ads. So back 2018, there's a Facebook data breach. And since then, they've announced that housing as a new ad category and policies specifically geared towards us, right? And what they've disabled for us is all of this. Age. So the default option will be 18 to 65. Geo-targeting, you used to be able to pick a much smaller radius. Now there's a larger 15-mile radius that you have to choose from. That may not sound like a lot now, but you know, Maryland's not that big when you look at it as a radius like that. Gender, income, net worth, newlyweds, empty nester. I mean, you can see all the categories that they disabled. It's no longer for us to choose now that we have the targeting options limited for us. So these are the available targeting options. And this is just a partial list of the targeting options. Instead of demographics like age and income, these are based on people who have expressed interest in these related items. So they visited Zillow, Trulia, Redfin. They've searched first-time homebuyer grants on Facebook and liked some of the Maryland mortgage page or house hunting through Facebook, and it's like, so you get the idea, right? So when you're creating your ad and choosing your audience, it's important to know who we're going after. So let's create an ad together, right? So we're gonna go back to that plus sign, right? Select ad. And now we have to create a new campaign. Does this look familiar? Good. So what do we need to do next? We need to choose our objective. Remember, we have the three objectives: awareness, consideration, conversion. So for this, I want to choose brand awareness, because that's where everyone should really start. So as you go through the ad process, you'll see some options. So step one, you want to give this a name. And obviously we just put in brand awareness. And step two, you can ignore the create a split test for now. It's really used when you're kind of comparing one ad versus another. And again, this goes back to narrowing in and honing in on that target audience and the custom audience that we're going to talk about. But for now, you can kind of skip this part. And then there's a budget optimization right here, okay? So with the budget optimization, you have two options. You have a daily budget and you have a lifetime budget. Okay, now if you choose the lifetime budget, you're basically, Facebook is saying, you know, we'll never spend more than that amount for your ad. Okay, and if you, it will maintain that spend until it gets to that lifetime budget. So if you put $10 in there and that's all you want to spend, it will never spend more than $10. The daily budget, you may spend more on some days and less on others, but will maintain an average daily budget. So I suggest starting with a lifetime budget so you're not spending more than you need to until you get this honed in and you realize how to create that target audience and you really narrowed down and perfected who you're targeting to where you're getting the most engagement and you're not spending too much to get that. So the next step here is to create a new audience. So a brief note on the custom audiences here, guys. Does anyone know, I mean, usually people know something about this, but you can create custom audience from past consumer files, and installing Facebook Pixel will basically allow you to do that. And it's going to put it on your website and people have engaged with your content on Facebook. And it means that you can run a custom ad or run ads by custom audiences. So custom audiences is something that I do a completely separate Facebook class on. And that's part 2 of this series, because there's a lot you need to learn about Facebook and how to create those custom audiences. So it's better to dive into it. However, I do have something I'm going to give you guys after this presentation that'll at least get you started. It's about a 35-page PDF that'll go over the basics of custom audiences, and then we will go over together how to kind of hone in on them and the different tips and tricks for them. So when you're creating your custom audience, or I'm sorry, let's go to the locations. Yeah, so the locations, so there's 4 different options you're going to get here. People living in or recently living in this location, people living in this location, people recently in this location, people traveling in this location. So there's a couple different ones there. Obviously, I think the best one here for us is people living in this location, because we're advertising to a certain demographic. We don't want people traveling through, right? We don't want people who are recently in this location. They may have been there for, dinner or lunch or whatever it is. So you want to get people in that location. So for this one, we're going to use Irvine, California as an example. So you can see this is a 15-mile radius. You can go wider than 15 miles if you want to, but this is the 15-mile radius, the max, or I guess the min that you can do for Facebook after the targeting. But the good news is that's enough. So an interesting note from the NAR home buyer and seller report is that the home buyers surveyed, the average distance moved is 15 miles. So older home buyers move the furthest, right here. But your average home buyer is moving within 15 miles. So that's good. It's going to target who we want to. But if you want to expand that geo-targeting, please feel free to. Next up is to select the detailed targeting options that we want. So this is where you use Facebook interests, the category that shows you, what you're interested in. You like those pages, you like certain things. So some of the interests that you'll see on there include Zillow, Trulia, again, house hunting. So these, build it as big as you can or as small as you want if you want to really dial it in. But I would start with, again, a wide net to see what works. And then you could start to review the ads and analytics to narrow that search and narrow that target audience to the people who are engaging the most and where you're getting the most conversions. So you can also leverage interests to target people that are browsing websites like these. So people browsing these sites are actively searching for homes. People that are visiting these sites are more likely to be pre-qualified leads since they're actively browsing real estate sites. It's not always true, but they're more pre-qualified than the people who are not, for sure. So a quick note about excluding people on this. So exclude is used to exclude people from your target ad audiences. You may want to exclude the other competitors, the real estate agents, brokers, real estate manager, unless you're really looking for a job, which you shouldn't be leaving tailored properties. But the real estate, the exclusion section here, add real estate agent, realtor, add the ones that you can. So that way your competitors aren't seeing your ad. You don't want to spend money so your competitors should see it. They're not buying a house, right? They're not going to choose you over themselves. So make sure you exclude your peers when you're doing that. And then you want to choose your ad placements. So Facebook says, automatic placements enable us to get the best results available from across all default placements. Because we can choose results from the widest range possible, automatic placements are typically the most efficient use of your budget and help control costs. So those of you that don't like letting go of things and like to be in control every time, you're going to want to hit edit placements. But honestly, automatic placements is the way to go. Again, they want you to spend money. So they want your ads to work. They want your leads to convert. They want you to get the results that you intended. So by doing automatic placements, you're letting them do the hard work, and they do a good job at it. So select that one. Don't use edit placements for now. And then set your daily budget, or your budget, I'm sorry. So you can set it again for daily spend for a certain number of days or a lifetime budget. So again, if you do $20 for a daily budget for 5 days, $100, right? Best practice is to run these ads for 7 to 10 days because you want to make sure that you're getting a good snapshot of the people who have interacted and engaged with that advertisement. So how much Facebook advertising costs depend on how many people are in your target audience. So it also depends on your objectives and how much competition there is for people reading or bidding for that same target audience. So you'll pick your ad format. There's a couple different ones here that you'll notice, or maybe you've seen these before as well. So these are the 5 different types of formats that you'll see. You have the carousel, which has 2 or more scrollable images or videos. You've seen these as you're scrolling through, that has listings. The single image, so you can create up to 6 ads with those. The single video, the slideshow, which is a looping already. It's not a carousel, it's doing it for you, right? It's playing the pictures. And then you have the canvas, which is a more immersive story. And your images and videos should be eye-catching so that your ad stands out. So obviously, if you're advertising a listing, right, the photos should be high quality. I think there was someone on last time that we did this where they were talking about they were offering the different photos in digital media that everyone has seen out there, but use high quality photos. That's the #1 fault I've ever seen. If I've ever seen one, that's the biggest one when you're putting a listing on, trying to take your own photos without a professional camera or without using apps to doctor the photos to make them look good. So we'll share some ad examples here in just a few minutes of these. But with right now, how about that? So this is an ad copy for your real estate Facebook ads, and it should be interesting with an attractive call to action, CTA, right? So how much is your home worth? What could you sell it for in today's real estate market? What's your home worth? The call to action is learn more, right? So sometimes the text up at the top, remember that's not the headline actually. So when you're putting this stuff in there, the text at the top is something to capture their interest, right? A question that your sellers or your buyers have. You want to answer that, but ask the question first at the top, the headline, a brief synopsis of that question, and then the description might be the answer. Let's figure out how much the home is worth. The call to action is right here. Let's learn more. All right, so when choosing your ad format, you'll see the option to add an Instagram experience. So these are mobile optimized ads that when a viewer is on a mobile device and clicks your ad, expands to a full screen on their phone. So Facebook also provides some instant experience templates, which are useful and help you get started with these types of ads. Something like this, I believe. If I can get this to play. Now, well, I'll have to show you guys. I'll send it to you. I wasn't getting it to pull up. I think they pulled down their post the other day. Oh, there we go. Can I get it to play within here? I can. All right. Now we just got to get it to play. All right. We'll come back to that. I'll send that out to you guys. I'm not sure why I wasn't playing, but it'll show you the immersive features that they offer. So that is on slide 49. If you guys want to write that down, slide 49, I'll send you these slides after this so that you can find the link and use it yourself. So custom audiences and retargeting. So when we're talking about Facebook ads, we have to mention custom audiences and retargeting. We've all had it happen to us, like I mentioned before. you're going to shop for something, you look up something, you talk to a friend about something, and it somehow appears on your phone, right? This is called retargeting. And like it or not, it's thanks to good old social media that we have. It's being digitally stalked in a way, right? And it's a big part of the conversation on Capitol Hill right now, and whether it's allowed and whether people are going to continue to allow it, or people are going to put up with this data mining that everyone has. But for now, we can take advantage of this to gain some business, to get some audience, because anyway, they're looking for a product, and you're providing the product just by saying, hey, if somebody's interested in this, show them my name, show them my face, show them my listing. If they don't like it, let's move on, right? So with the removal of Facebook ad targeting options, the custom audiences and the retargeting are crucial and critical elements to regenerate a return on investment with the Facebook ads. So there are two categories of custom audiences. So your sources, which is the most option for you, real estate agents, which are people who have visited your website, and your customer lists, so your CRM. Facebook sources, these are things that happen on Facebook. So they can include people who have watched your videos, filled out your lead generation form, visited your Instagram profile, RSVP'd for events. If you guys hold events, first-time home buyers, and 30-40% of those people only show up. There's 50 people who registered, but 10 people show up, right? So those are the kind of people, those other 40 that were interested, that we want to recapture and show them our stuff to. So this will allow you to, using the Facebook sources will allow you to do that. So when creating a custom audience from a customer file, Facebook will give you two options for uploading your past customer database. So a CSV or text file. MailChimp, if anybody uses that, it's a great service. If you don't know about it, look it up. It's a great service to use if you do like daily emails and things. And the minimum quantity, this is important. If you guys are just starting out and you have 20 friends and family names in your database, it's not going to be for you. You need at least 100 clients within that form in order for them to be able to do the consumers from your own file. So to use your consumer list, once you've uploaded that CSV or text file, Facebook is going to look for what's called identifiers. So you upload that consumer list with your persons, Joe and Sandy, who purchased last month, their name, their phone number, their address gets scrubbed with Facebook's database, and they start to recognize who these people are. And then they see what those people like, right? So when they see what those people like, they're going to come up with these different, build a customer profile. So the people who have been your raving customers, your biggest fans, they'll start to build a profile of what those people like on Facebook. And then that's going to be our target audience. So a quick word about the Facebook Pixel. It is just a snippet of code that you place on your website or landing pages to retarget people who have visited those pages. If you're running ads that drive people to your website or landing pages, the Pixel will track how many people visit that site from your ad. So you can also retarget those visitors on Facebook with additional content or ads by creating a custom audience. So this is only a good option if you're sending people to a website from Facebook. Otherwise, you do not want to use this on the website, I'm saying. Now, one other type of audience is a special ad audience. This is the new lookalike audiences for the housing special category. Facebook says that they'll show ads to people who have similar online behavior as your most valuable clients, as I mentioned. So you would use this from your consumer list. If you're creating the custom audience from that, that's what you'd want to use, the special ad audience. If you're uploading that list and you want those people and people like them, your raving fans, your most valuable customers, your MVCs, that's where you want to use it. So Facebook gives you lots of analytics for you to measure. So you have your insight graphs right here, right? And then this is really going to show you how many people you reach, your engagements, where your ad was seen, and how much you spent on those. Next, you'll see your quick, basically it's a summary. It's a campaign summary right here. This will allow you to turn on and off the campaign too. So if you are not experiencing the best results and want to tweak the ad audience a little bit, this will allow you to do that there. And then 3, this is a lot more detailed reporting through specific ads that you've ran. So it'll show you, age categories that you're hitting. But really, these are just the fun part of it. Once you start running the ads and you get to look at this data, you can start to tweak your ads to make them perform better. And I don't know about you guys, but I find it fun in making an ad that just gets better and better and converts more and more. And you start to see the people who it's attracting. It's almost, I enjoyed marketing growing up, I guess. So hopefully you enjoy this as well when you go through it. The last part of this that I want to talk about is the lead response and conversion. So this is the biggest thing that I was taught as a mortgage loan officer, because when I first started in my career, I was at a call center where people would either call in when they saw an advertisement on TV, or they went online and put their information in online, right? So I don't know how many of you have done that, but think about a time that you saw a commercial and you picked up the phone and called the number. I don't think I've ever done it. If you have, I'm curious to know what for. Send me a message on the chat. Let me know what you called and purchased right on the spot, or went online and put a lead on right away. I'm not talking about like a commercial for a product that you went and bought, like a $20 product, a $40 product. I'm talking about something you saw. Well, no, if it was like one of those late night consumer ads too, let me know if you called and bought something. But the point of that is saying that when somebody goes online and fills out a lead generation form, they are interested in that moment to talk about it, right? So speed matters. If you have a 40%, what is that? I can't even see my own chart. You have a 400% greater chance to convert that lead by calling within 1 minute. So if you have a lead, or if you have an ad campaign running, maybe you should think about running it in hours when you're working, right? That way, when you're getting that lead gen, you can call or email them instantly. And your response should be set up to where you know what you're doing. Day 1, minute 1, within the first minute, you send a text message and you give them a phone call. Within the very first minute, send them a text, give them a phone call. I do the opposite. I call, no pickup. I text and say, hey, this is so-and-so, just got your information. You wanted more information on this. Then I wait 15 minutes and send an email. Then I wait 30 minutes and send or call them again. So again, you don't have to feel uncomfortable calling these people. They asked for more information, and then you give them a break. 2 days later, day 3, not day 2, send them a text, hey, just checking back in. And then you could see day 4, day 8, but on average, it takes 7 to 12 touch points to get somebody to respond for these. 7 to 12. So if you think that you're going to get a lead and convert it that day, you're lucky if you do, but you're most likely not going to happen for the majority of the leads. So don't give up. Use a CRM, have a follow-up plan, and really just make sure that you're following this step. If you need to print this out for every client, write the client's name at the top, and then just check off each thing that you did, do that, right? Until you get in the habit of doing it. There's CRMs that remind you to do these things like mine does. If you don't have that and you plan to do this, it's a good idea to spend money to get that. But the final one right here, day 20, I have is what I call my Hail Mary email. And it's titled Hail Mary. And it just says, hey, I received your information a couple days ago, and it seems like you're interested in this. and I haven't heard from you since. I've called, I've texted, I've emailed. Maybe you're not interested in it anymore. Maybe some things have happened in your life that have caused you to kind of move on and not address this right now. That's fine. Just let me know. I don't want to bug you. Just give me a heads up. If you're, pushing this off, great. If you want to proceed, but just not now, that's fine as well. Just let me know. Something like that. And I almost every time get a response, hey, it's been a rough week. Really sorry, behind with family, have to do these things for the kids. We're not looking to do anything for another 3 months. Great. Is it okay if I follow up with you in 3 months? I put a little calendar reminder for 2 months because, just to follow up a little bit sooner and say, hey, it's almost 3 months now. They're not going to know exactly when they spoke with you. But you don't want them to call 3 months in and then they already started working with somebody a month ago either. So make sure you have a follow-up plan with these leads. And the CRMs are the biggest part of my business that, they're the MVP when it comes to mortgage banking. But when it comes to the real estate industry, I would think that it's even more important because of the amount of people that you interact with at open houses, at your listings, within a dinner date, all the people who are interested in buying a house that even sent something on Facebook, you add them in to your CRM so they can get weekly, monthly emails, little news notes. Here's just to drop a line, happy birthday. All of that stuff should be happening within your business. Total Expert is one that was founded by real estate agents. Very good CRM. I suggest if you're looking at that. Here's a few other marketing automation and CRM tools. Use all of these, use some of these, use none of these. Whatever you find that works for you, use it. Boomtown is a great one that I use. Any of the other ones, look them up. Again, I'll be getting you these slides so that you can see them. But right now, I want to show you kind of the bread and butter of what we've been talking about, which is ad examples. Okay. Now, this is content that you can use today. You can use it, steal it, share it, whatever you need to do, change it to match your name, but use it and let me know how this works on getting these leads to come. So here's a consistently good performing ad that I get feedback on a lot. So offer a free list of homes using a Facebook lead ad. Remember, the Facebook lead ad captures their data. It automatically populates their information in that form, and then they hit submit, right? And if you're taking them to a website, make sure you install Facebook Pixel on that website. And this is not something where you have a link and then you take them to your site. If you're offering listings over here, click here to view homes under 249. And then you click to learn more and it takes you to your Facebook page or your website. Where are the listings? You need to make sure you follow up with what the link you're taking them to. But then when you have that, you'll be able to retarget those people who selected those links, right? Because they're interested. They wanted to learn more. And then you'll do the automated lead follow-up that we spoke about. But you'll be getting copies of this one. This one's good because it describes an experience, right? So think of a time when you had something like this happen. You helped somebody out of an apartment. Apartment living is perfect for so many, but Jacob and Mia wanted a home, something that was theirs, place to start a family. Challenge is that for many people like Mia and Jacob, down payment was required to become a home buyer, and it kept them in an apartment. So a few months ago, and you get the point. So they got a house, but share one of your success stories. I just saw one the other day where someone helped a family move from the Virgin Islands into Carroll County, I believe, and they shared that story on Facebook, and I'm sure I saw it because they boosted a post. But next, so another one here. So if you're looking to grab somebody's interest who's, and this is all the first-time home buyers and millennials. Look, you're looking to buy a home. It should be a modern looking home, right? You don't want something that, if you're targeting millennials, I mean, but next you'll want to, look at this line. $500 could get you into a home. That's something that grabs the attention, right? What program are they talking about? Do you know? I know what program I'm talking about. If you don't know, It's the HUD program. But if you don't, I'm a loan officer, we can talk about it. But there is programs out there for as low as $500 down payment, you can get into a house. But that's going to grab somebody's attention. So why is this ad effective, do you think? This is, it uses a headline, an image, and post to increase excitement for the engagement, right? So this is for a buyer about a property coming to the market. So you're showing a little bit about the house, but you're not really giving them much of the pictures. They're enticed to learn more. They just see this beautiful brick, the nice trees, the walkway to the front door. So it entices these the buyers to click, right? They want to click more. So here's one directing people to a landing page. And if you look, the symmetry between the two, right? You have the picture here, and then when you come to the landing page, it's the first thing you see is that house. So the continuity between the Facebook post and the website makes it more professional, and it's called coupling. It's a strategy that converts at higher rates because it's a common thread between the two things. If it takes you off of the website, remember, if you had to buy, have you ever bought something where you're on somebody's website and then you go to enter in your credit card information and it takes you off of the website? Instantly you're like, I don't know if I'm going to put this in. It's the same thing. You want to create the coupling effect or the continuity between the ad to the website so that you have an ideal match and they're comfortable with proceeding and entering in their information. Because again, this one is not going to put their information in for you. This is your website, not Facebook's. It's just another one, open house. It gives you all the details kind of to necessary to attract visitors. So it gives you, like, you know, the square footage and everything. But in order to see the inside, they're giving you a link here. You got to click down here. So it gives you the necessary details to entice the person. It doesn't give you everything. They want to see more. I mean, this just says what somebody wants to see, right? And I think you've all seen these, whether it's, you know, on TV, on Facebook, on a billboard. You know, we've seen these types of advertisements everywhere, and there's a reason you see them everywhere, because they work. So here's one that is really effective. So it's the combination of multiple images and marketing messages. It's the carousel version that we spoke about. If you remember back to the type of ad, the carousel's a winner because it posts several images. Your client, the person who's looking at this, is going to see. I mean, look at this one. You have one. Someone's looking for a garage. First thing they see, right? Someone's looking for hardwood floors, or someone's looking for a pool. You even see that right there, right? So you have many options. You don't have to attract just one person with this. And then, see this one. Where did I have this one? Oh, so this one I believe I put in here because of the links. If you see, sometimes Facebook will cut your post, right? You'll see the add more or see more link. So they may cut your post. You want to make sure you're putting your links in the top couple lines here of the post. That way the person sees it and doesn't have to hit see more, because if you're not really super interested in that post, you're not going to hit the see more or maybe even see it. But that's just an example I wanted to show you so you guys could make sure that you put that link at the top. So in summary, when done correctly, Facebook ads are a proven way to attract buyers, sellers to your properties, your services. Using Facebook ads is going to be fun. You're going to start it. You're going to like it. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be, you know, a learning curve, but you know the basics now. You'll spend a little bit of money to learn a lot, and then you'll get really good at it. A lot of good real estate agents, and frankly, there's loan officers who build their business off of this, so that they're never getting referrals from real estate agents. They're only giving clients to real estate agents, which is something me and another company have done in the past. So it works, it's out there, and there's plenty of business for all of us. We're all in a different little geo-targeting, 15 miles. We're all going to have different custom audiences and who is our MVP or MVC, most valuable customer, and what they look like. So increase your production, increase your leads, grow your production, grow your productivity. So I think if anyone has any questions regarding the specific questions on anything we went over today, let me know. Thank you, Ernest. I appreciate you saying that. And there's only so much we can cover in this amount of time. So the next one will be custom audiences. If you want to sign up for that, I'm going to provide my email within the chat right now. Email me, and I will make sure to send. I'll make sure to send you the dates on that. It'll be about 3 weeks to a month from now. And then I'm also going to be sending you your PDF and copy of the presentation so that you have it and you can work through some of these items. But the next class will be custom audiences for real estate so that we can go through. That's where you're really going to hone in on those skills. I'm Kyle with Heritage Financial. I didn't introduce myself in the beginning because Gary said something, but I think I've earned a minute just to say something real quick. I'm a broker, so I'm here to help you guys at Taylor. I know you guys have relationships with other loan officers who you've worked with forever, or maybe you just started working with them and they're very good. If there's ever a time that a deal falls through, something you didn't like happens, you didn't get the communication that you wanted. If there's ever more stuff like this that you want to learn, that you'd like to see a presentation on, if there's something I can do to help you guys, let me know. I'm here and I mean it. Okay. Let's see. I think that ad, the Taylor property template, I think that's more for Gary. But Gary, I believe I'm all finished up here. Do you have anything else that you wanted to go over?
Yeah, I just wanted to address Tracy's question. She asked, is there a Taylor Properties template available where we can just add our photos and information for posting? No, there is not a single template that we provide to agents for posting and creating images. However, there are separate services, design services available that will help you create those type of templates for your own use. One is called Banner Snack. That's the one I use, BANNER Snack. I'll write that in the chat right now. Snack. And what you'll be able to do is use existing templates to create templates of your own and images that you can use on social media. Very simple. It's free. And I'll include that in the email follow-up to you guys, which also will include a link to the presentation as well as the slides. So with all that being said, thank you everyone for joining. Kyle, thank you very much again for a great presentation. If you guys have any questions about anything that he talked about today, please feel free to let me or him know. Reach out via email, give us a call, whatever. We're here to support you guys, and if you guys have any questions or you need some hand holding, doing some Facebook ads or anything in that nature, please feel free to let us know. And we will let you guys go. Appreciate the time, and until the next time, bye.